So about 30 years ago, I built a SIG Mid-Star 40. That was kind of the first sport airplane I'd ever had. It followed a little trainer, I think maybe a Great Plains ARF. And then I built the SIG up from pieces of balsa, ironed on the film myself, put a OS 40 on it, and flew it for 2 years. And it was still flying when I sold it, after the flying club that I belonged to at the time lost its field to a subdivision. And that was a really sad day when I put an ad in the local newspaper. This was back before the internet, basically. And somebody bid on it, came over to my house, a guy from Greenwood, Indiana. They had a flying field down there, 35 miles from my house. And picked up the whole thing, all 3 of the airplanes I had at the time, my radios, all my spare parts, my extra film, my tools, my field box, fuel, took it home. I think he paid me $500 for the whole thing, all 3 airplanes, which was at that time a quite fair price. It'd be close to $1,000 today. So I've been looking at the opportunity to get another SIG model, and Mid-Star 40 is not available, and I've kind of moved on in the hobby as well. So I ordered this beauty, the Four-Star 64. And today I'm going to be taking it out of the package and seeing what all is in here. The plan is to put in an extra motor that I have that was intended for my Cessna 150. It is actually a warranty replacement piece because I had some really severe problems with that airplane, and Horizon was nice enough to send me both a new ESC, an upgraded ESC, and a new motor, and under warranty. And I put them both in, and that fixed it. So I'm kind of assuming the motor is not the problem. I'm pretty sure it was the ESC, but I've also got an ESC for it already. I'm going to need to buy a receiver. I'm going to get a AR637T and some servos. Everything else is supposed to be pretty much in the kit. Oh, I've got to buy a prop and some kind of little spinner for that motor. I think I have actually, yeah, I tried looking at the motor, the prop mount for the Cessna 150. It's not going to work. I'm going to have to get a different prop mount, but that's no big deal. I have a local hobby shop here just across town that has all that stuff. So without further ado, let's proceed to take a look at what's in this package. First of all, this is not a Chinese model. It was, according to the package, shipped from Vietnam, not China. So what do we got here? First thing up, we have a rudder and vertical stab. Ooh. And already put together. It looks very nice. No decals on it yet. And oh, that is balsa. That is not styrofoam. And it has an attachment here, an attachment here for attaching it to the fuselage. Okay. That's one down. Next up is apparently the other tail piece. The elevator. And let's see, where does this go? Oh, here we go. Oh, let's fold this up here. Yep. I need some decals on it, but that looks like that's going to work. And it's a pretty good size. It's roughly the same size as the E-Flight 22. So next up, the wing. What I'm wondering is, these actually, that's attached. The instructions say that you have to glue these hinges. Or maybe that's just the wings. I'm not sure. Here we go. Yeah, the wing hinges are not glued ailerons, and this is a full span aileron. Apparently, it attaches to the bottom of the fuselage. Apparently that peg goes into the fuselage, and then there's going to be a screw here. Symmetrical airfoil. There's the hole for the servo. Okay. Looks nice, but it's going to put a little glue. And we have the other wing. Okay, here's the other wing. Oop, I tell you what, let's move this around. This one on top of the so way it won't slide off. Okay. Now, only one thing really left remaining. Big pieces, that's fuselage. So there is the strut. Push rods. Whoa, these are long push rods. Very nice though. Beautiful. With lock nuts on them. Motor mount box. This actually has to be positioned just right to get the cowling to work, but I don't think that's going to be an issue, and it's got all the hardware in there for that. Here we have, I'm not sure, oh, there's a fuel tank, but I'm not going to need a fuel tank. It's going to be the size of the battery. Some landing wheel parts, attachments. Oh, nice. Look at those legs. Landing gear legs, 3 bolts to attach it, or heavy duty screws. Wheel pants. Canopy. And what is this? Oh, this is the cowling. Finally, the fuselage, complete with instrument tank. Somewhere in here, I'm assuming there's some decals. Or maybe I'll get my own, who knows. So let's see what this is. Here we go. Oh, that's beautiful. And just like my Mid-Star 40, this is not a frame and covering over it. This is a solid plywood frame. Kind of heavy, but not too bad. And then the battery will go in right here. Some kind of a hatch. I haven't figured out quite how that's going to work. And the cowling will fit over here. Motor mount back here to trim it up. And it's all been, actually it's all been fuel proofed. I can feel the varnish here. So And this is roughly the same size as the Cessna 150. I'm gonna cut over to that view here. I'll just edit it out. Let's go over here. And we'll compare this to the Cessna. So here's, let's see here, is that right? Yeah. So here's my hanger. And if we look at it, yeah, on a scale basis, this airplane is pretty much the same as the 150, but it's going to fly a lot different. With that symmetrical airfoil, it's going to be maybe a little bit heavier. We'll see after we get it together. I may just weigh them both. I got a feeling the 150 is going to be maybe a little bit lighter. This thing is absolutely beautiful. Wow. I was off to the hobby shop today, and then after the hobby shop I went off to a local airport and flew a 182 for a little over an hour. But I got all this shopping done before I took off in the 182. And what we have here, 4 servos, standard size, heavy duty plastic but heavy duty carbonites, a AR-637T receiver, which I dearly love these. I have these in most of my airplanes, with telemetry, safe, and AS3X. And I already had the motor, but we got a motor mount. Lucky to find one of those at the local hobby shop, let me tell you. Mounted on there with a little blue Loctite. A prop that's recommended for this motor by E-Flight, and a prop mount that will put all this up in the front. Hook all that up to an ESC that I've got already down here. So here's the rest of the power package. It's a 60 amp smart brushless ESC from Spectrum. And so I think this and some glue should just about put it all together.